Going to try that. Live. And I am alive. Always a good thing. Going to see if... Yeah. Some nice streams out there. That's cool. Excellent. What's going on? I think we're mostly okay. Just... All right. Preparing for... And we're going to add... Where did I put this? At here. All right, that should do it. That should definitely do it. So something along these lines. All right, so that's up. Going to post it here, and I'm going to post it here. Should be enough. Hey, we've got someone. Sorry, I'm just wrapping up. Axel. How are you doing tonight, sir? You might be able to help me with something. I'm supposedly enabled captions, but I'm not sure how that works. So if you would like to tell me if captions are working fine, that would be super cool. Alright, okay. That works. And where are we doing this? So we're going to work on Siege tonight. And still no caption. It should be an option at the bottom of the stream. There should be a CC icon where you can click on it and you can start getting some captions there. Supposedly. Yeah, I just started. I'm just setting up actually, and should be good to go in about 2 minutes. We're not going to have a ton of gameplay tonight. And as you can hear in my voice, still not 100% back to full health, but we're going to be working on Siege. I'm actually working on getting the whole week off next week, so that I can work on the guide and everything. But for the most part, I figured if I'm going to be working on the Siege, Guide the Night. Might as well do it live and make sure that we have some fun. It kind of works. Okay, we'll see. Joe is going to be the judge of how good it is and if it works well. So we'll wait for Joe, and if he's there, going to be able to help with that. But yeah, so still translating weird stuff. Okay, I'm not. We'll try. Maybe there's some options to tune it. For now, I'm just using the Microsoft text-to-speech, so might be the reason why it's weird. Yeah, so I started to work on this mind map, and maybe going to screw my layout. Maybe not. This view sounds nice though. Yeah, it should be a lot better. Is it? Yes, no. Yeah, I guess it should be fine. I get a video for you. Oh, I can watch my own recordings. Don't worry about it. When you watch the Twitch recording, the Twitch archives, there should be the option there as well. So yeah. What does it mean to prepare for Siege at this point? We saw the stream last week. Well, this week. Technically still this week. From the devs on Wednesday. And they showed a lot of stuff. It was very interesting. We also had a post from Curry itself this week, I believe yesterday, that mentioned that Siege was coming out next week. So we're about maximum about 6 days away from Siege if it's released on Friday. Well, that's super cool. We need to prepare, right? Because I'm myself going to dive in pretty hard on that mode, both on defense and on attack. I'm just going to post my keep up for defense, and I'm going to attack, and then I'm going to look if I've been defeated, and then attack again, and look if I've been defeated, and attack again. And this is going to be my go-to for a long time. Hey Joe, the banner at the bottom is a little big. Covers, yeah, I know. Text is really small. Hard to read in browser. Okay. Well, technically I can make this full. And chat now. You can have chat there, right? And once we're in game, oops. Once we're in game, it should not be too bad. I guess that works. No, I don't want to start a second X, please. You will not defeat my keep. Well, I will try. I will try to defeat every single keep there is. No quarters. Going to have lots of fun doing that. But watching the stream, the dev stream this week made me think a lot, because there were a few, you know, fun defense decks in there. There were at least one or two that seemed to be going in the right direction, and it made me think a lot about, you know, what it means to attack with Siege. We also had the news that we're going to have a multiple card changes for PvE, either their equipment or the card themselves. So there's a lot will change. It's hard right now to just say like this card is going to be a top card to have, this card is going to be great, just because we don't know, right? If said cards are either equipped or PvE cards, you don't know if they're going to be changed or not. So Let's be careful what we're saying about, you know, cards being the best or the best, but we can still look at the we can still look at standard, right? This is fixed. This is not going to change. The card within standard they're not going to change at least for a month, like 4 weeks. Spoiler season for set 9 is already started. We have our first lore article, so that means likely next week we're starting to see new cards, and we have a set name. So we're very close, and so we know what standard it is. So we'll definitely spend some time today looking at standard decks and try to identify which one would be best candidates to attack keeps overall. And you will let me make keep. I learned so much from you. I will be unbeatable. I'd be very careful with these kinds of statements, if not only for the fact that the AI will be playing your decks, and right now if you're good at building decks, it doesn't mean that you'll be good at building decks that are going to be played well by the AI. Building a deck for the AI is going to be very different than building a deck for a player, and there's going to be a lot of hidden restrictions and a lot of things that we cannot, that will be best to avoid, that would be an advantage for a human, but that will be detrimental for the AI because it's not playing things properly, it's not playing the phases properly, the sequencing properly. So having an AI playing a deck strongly limits how you will be building your decks, because you can always do it for fun, right? And you just build a cool deck and you give it to the AI, and the AI plays it like at 50% or 60% efficiency, and that's cool. Like, it's a fun experience. But if you want to go for unbeatable, if you want to go for, you know, having keep that lasts long and people are not able to beat, first you need to understand standard, and you need to understand the tools that the attackers will be using, and then you need to craft a deck that has a strong archetype against the best standard deck against a PvE card, and that the AI will also be playing well. And these two things are really hard to tell right now. Well, it's impossible to tell. The AI will be playing decks. It's going to take an insane amount of testing for new archetypes and new card permutation to figure out and really get a good feel of the AI. And we're slowly going to start, you know, getting an inventory of, here are the things that you want to use with this AI personality, avoid these cards, these kinds of archetypes are really good, and then you're going to go level 2 on the AI. You're going to go, okay, so now I know how these AI personalities behave. How can I use this at my advantage? How can I make, for example, right now I have prepared a bury deck that is not using any bury card. Like, it's only burying with one card, and it's a troop with gems, right? So I'm likely not going to be using the bury AI for this deck. I might be using it like the big Tress, because it's a big troop that buries when it comes into play, and I want the AI to, you know, focus on that. So maybe I'll be able to be clever, right, and next level the AI and use AI settings for things that are not, you know, they're not directly made for, and just, you know, start playing with the way the AI works, and find interesting ways to weave in strategies and card interactions so that you get the maximum value out of the AI. And this is going to take a long time to figure out, and even then, like, at some point we're going to figure it out, and we're going to have the best decks or the best archetypes are played by the AI, and then the question will be like, can a good standard deck beat that regularly? It's going to be tough. Lots of things to do. And even like we are, but there's a few things, right, that we know right now. We've seen the devs play Siege a bit, and we can already draw some general guidelines. So that's what I want to work on today. And this was my mind map that started when I started to work on the siege guide. And tonight I wanted to add a few ideas in there that got more, you know, better defined after viewing the dev stream. So one of the things that occurred to me wasn't, you know, wasn't something, you know, easy to figure out, but especially when the devs thought the and you know what, maybe we can put that on screen. Should be able to switch PG. It's one of the things that became apparent was where's the dev stream? Okay. Was when they fought the diamond deck, I believe here. Was it? Oh, that's not the one. Why? Why does it go back like that? Okay. This deck. Perfect. So one of the things that really came to mind when I saw them fighting this deck was that yeah, I'm not going to be watching that. Put that in very low quality for now. One of the things I saw was that realizes that PvE's cards, like the threats in PvE comes down real fast. Like turn 2, turn 3, you're going to have some very like efficient, powerful threats. And one of the conclusion that came to mind was that you know what, if we're starting to map something like the usual archetypes, right? So let's say we're on the offense and this is our types, and now we've got the usual archetypes, right? We've got aggro, and then we've got control, and then we've got mid-range, and to some amount we have like combo, something like, I think the only real combo deck that we have right now would be the reanimator deck, and then control aggro deck. What do we have as aggro deck right now? We've got sockets, we've got candles. Are there any other aggro deck in standard? Oh, and we've got diamond, sapphire, ascension, and we've got blood, but mono blood for the most part. And we've got mid-range slash combo-ish. We've got Ruby Wild Ramp. We've got Diamond Wild Momentum. I guess this one is more of a momentum deck. Do we have a Death Cry deck? And some things along these lines, right? Let me see. Are we missing anything? Let's go on PvP tools and history. We've got platinum plunder. Let's look at it real quick. Oh, that's right. Fred made some modification to his site. Very cool. If you haven't seen them, you should definitely take a look. And as a side note, Warden's share for this month will be on February 25th. And Fred will be the co-host with me. So that's going to be cool. So we've got... Okay, so we've got... What do we got here? Tabs. So, standard, Mana Blood, Brides, ZX Judgment, Aerial Fall, Strangle, Vampire Prince, Summon of Gaze, Journey, Dark Hearts, Corners of the World, and like a few tap in that's going to win games on their own. Diversified, and we've got this. Alright. Got our yeah, sure. So more aggressive 1-drop, 2-drop momentum deck with Palm, some Shamrock, Mary Karan, Pathfinder, Burn Rifts, and Seekers. Alright. What's next? Another Mana Blood. That should be roughly the same. This. Ooh, what's this? So, is this a Kindle deck? No, this is an aggressive deck. An aggressive human deck that plays a couple Kindles. Low amount of removal. Some nice diligence triggers. Scion Livened Embers. Okay. Some reach. Looks good. That's good. Joe, I'm really not sure that a large part of the attackers will be free to play PS4 players. For starters, there isn't really such a thing as free to play on PS4. And second, everyone will be trying it for the first 2 or 3 weeks. So I think that and now we're going to see if closed caption works. I think that we're going to see lots of players attack, at least early on. This is interesting. So that would be a Ruby Diamond. I just say Ruby Diamond Crusader, Human Crusader, something like that. I guess that would be the way to phrase it. So is that aggressive? It's small like a mid-range deck, right? What would be mostly even Sockets. Sockets is not. So that would be Diamond, Ruby, Human. Going to call it like that. Okay, that's cool. That's Sockets. Okay. Same deck, some amount of the same. All right, so we've got pretty much what we have, and we've got a control deck there. Okay. Do we have anything else? We've got the bash. What did the last bash look like? Ooh. So Diamond Sapphire, I'm assuming this is control, right? Yeah, okay. Should be okay. Perfect. Mono blood. This is likely chart mark. Yeah, okay. And some amount of mono ruby. Oh, that would be the aggressive deck. Okay. This is okay. That's spicy. What is this one? Okay, it's a weird version of an aggressive deck, but for the most part. Alright, so we've got a mono ruby aggressive here. This, what in the world is that? Some amount of ramp. Some amount of... Okay, so Mary Caravan and Pathfinder. Taking turns. That's a nice one. That is a nice one. Okay. Bit of a brew, but very interesting. And we've got some amount of... Oh, that should be the reanimator deck? No, that's just... Control deck with some sapphire spice in it. Alright. Sacred Stance Conscript. Oh. Oh, I just delete that. Okay. All right, so we've got it, right? We've got most of the archetypes here. We don't really see a Kendall's deck anymore. Well, past 2-3 weeks. I'm just going to say Ruby. Mono Ruby. But the decks will be different. The 100% will be different, and this is where we're going to go. Why? So the biggest issue I see with standard deck versus PvE deck is likely just going to be speed. Like the average strong turn for PvE decks is turn 2. And the average strong turn for constructed standard deck is turn 4, 3, and 4. So what's happening right now is that... Wait, give me a sec. I need to make sure that... the kids are not awake. Okay. Sapphire Wild, Bad Desert. Yeah, we saw it once, but didn't really make big results. I don't know. Maybe we should look at ladder. Yeah, let's. I did not look at ladder. Ladder meta. All right, so we've got. Worn. Okay. Let's see. This is the... Okay, so there's a candle there. Line him up. Flame lick. Go to face. Get the light in my back. Or... Okay. Candle deck is first right now. And this is the Crusader type deck. And then we have the Balthazar. This would be the taking turns and all. Rune binds. This is essentially a ramp deck. Okay. Yeah, this is some kind of mid-range-ish deck. This is not a control deck. Mono Wild with Booster, Collide, Earth Mother, Pathfinder, Caravan, all the good stuff. Yeah, there's a few brews, but for the most part, yeah, okay. We've got Kendall, we've got a Sapphire Wild type ramp deck. Going to add them there. So Wild ramp. And we've got Kendall's is it an aggro deck? More of a mid-range aggressive deck. I'll put it there. Something like that, right? The stream should not have dropped. So the thing that we saw on the dev stream though is that they were playing against a pretty standard like recruiter deck, like just a fairly standard diamond sapphire recruiter deck, and it wasn't doing like degenerate things, right? It was just some very good troops and recruiter to accelerate a bit, and it was able to clog the board. It had some staying power with poet and champion power, some extremely efficient troop in this girl here, which is likely, if I'm to make a prediction on wait, what? Are you guys seeing this? Okay. If I am to make any kind of prediction on cards that are going to gain value and things you should be looking at, Mono Diamond Recruiter and something along the lines of Blood Recruiter, any recruiter deck are going to be super strong. I was messing around with a configuration, but for the most part you've got very, very good and efficient threats. You've got a ton of Arcane. You've got a form ranks that's going for one cost is permanent +2/+2 to all your troops. This is stupid strong the way they changed it. And you just build a recruiter deck with a ton of humans and warriors, and you just pick a human warrior champion, and this thing here, it's every single troop you have at all times. And then you just put things like, you know, a bunch of life gain, some amount of momentum, and if you really want to lower the curve there, we should be going for something like this instead of this even, and we very likely want to out for Art Rider. Like this card, is nuts. It is definitely on the top of the list of cards you should be looking at right now. Maybe we don't want a War Princess Victoria, but something like that should enable that we have a we always have a free troop on turn 1. Well, the AI always has a free troop on turn 1. There's 8 turn 1. So on turn 1, you're likely going to get 2 troops. And then on turn 2, you either put a recruiter down, or a paladin, or daughter of the poet. And then on turn 3, you're going Crusaders, and you're going Outrider. And Outrider is friggin' insane for siege defense. So A 3 cost that is going to destroy a target opposing troop with 2 or less attack is pretty darn good. It's a 2/4 that costs 3, and it does something very significant when it comes on the board. When you give it the equipment, it just becomes stupid. Like, it becomes Crusader 2.0 without the deck building restriction. That's what she is. Because she's got 4 defense, and when she attacks, she gets attack equal to her defense. And she has 4. So she is a 3 cost, 6/4 attacker that destroys a 2-drop, a 2 attack troop when she comes into play. And if you ever empower her, she's going to destroy a 4 attack troop, and she's going to have 8 defense. She's going to hit for 12. It's a very good 3-drop and a 6-drop that attacks for 12. That has 8 defense. That is a ton. Like, it's a removal, it's a threat, it stabilizes. It is extremely efficient. Like, and you're going to want to get this equipment. And for this archetype particularly, you don't have a ton of weapons that you want. So yeah, she's going to be in many decks. And what I wanted to illustrate with this deck is that I need to adjust that. Okay, is that what's happening with these decks is that the average mid-range PvE deck that is tuned is going to be faster and more powerful than the average mid-range constructed standard deck. So no, she's not getting nerfed. She's just very good. Like, she's not OP good. She comes down turn 3, and she's a strong card with the equipment, but she's not something that is going to render like most standard deck bogus. But what I wanted to illustrate with that is that these decks here, these PvE deck, they're likely going to be favored against most mid-range decks in standard, just because they're going to be way faster at establishing their board presence, and they're going to put the opposing mid-range deck on the defensive from the start. Like, you're going to be, when you're going to play siege mode, you should always build your standard deck for attack with the mindset that you're going to be in the process of stabilizing your game early on. You're not going to be the aggressor. Even with an aggressive deck, like something like we just built here, like, how the hell an aggressive deck beats that? Like, gaining 1,000,000 health, extremely good blockers, like this one I put life drain, and very strong combat tricks, and cost reduction with a troop that becomes bigger as you play more troop. Like, the aggressive and mid-range decks are going to struggle against decks like that. And recruiters, like both recruiters, right? We could build a similar deck with blood, with the underworld recruiter, and we still have a ton of action. It's going to be like underworld recruiter deck. You're playing the engorger and you're playing the sneak blade as the 1-drops. You've got some power there. This is tier 1 power in PvE. So that's super good. Like, the mid-range / aggressive decks for PvE are going to be way stronger than what we have in PvE in constructed standard. So what I thought is that most decks that we're going to build as an attacker, you're going to want to make sure that you're able to stabilize. And if you're not able to stabilize, if your attacker deck is not able to stabilize, you're likely just going to get run over like they did on the stream. Like they played good constructed deck, like top tier to constructed deck. You know, they didn't play them as you know, the best player in the world would be playing, but it just illustrates that that these PvE decks will be strong. Like fine-tuned PvE deck with the appropriate AI personality that plays it at like 60-70% efficiency. These decks are going to be super hard to beat, very, very hard to beat. So let me just, this bugs me. I need to find it really quick. An ardent troop for this deck, and diamond. That also happens to be a human. Or a warrior. I shouldn't. Technically. I likely want to top the curve, but most of these are then, right? So why not Hero of Legion? Or this guy. This guy. Humans. So good. And we're not even into 5 drops. Let's just put this one for now. Just so that can set filters and put some amount of cards in there. Not final, but it works. Oh, maybe we want a... Bugs me, give me a sec. Maybe we want a human or a warrior that also happens to have a head equipment, because we have that open. That would be nice. Find something very, very like a, even if it's like Cosmic Shaman. We have access to Cosmic Shaman. That's that. With well, you could put Flight, Swift Strike, and Life Green. You know, small things. Do we have... Oh, is that a headpiece? Ah, that's a trinket. But irrelevant either way, man. That's not... Really can't find... Okay, so what do you do? Each of your card, when you draw, then create a random human with Inspire and put it in your hand. Oh, it's not too bad. Is inspired. Yeah, but we're not playing the Inspire game though. Really, with humans in Ardent and Diamond? Don't have a good at peace. When opposing champion or more troops than you, this has -1 cost. What? 3 costs over Talent Adjudicator, guys. No big deal. Oh, you got ahead. This has -1 cost in all zone for each opposing necrotic troop. Maybe you do something. Troops with cost 3 or less and all zones are quick. Ooh. Not quite sure how this benefits the AI, but when a troop interplay under your control, it gets +3/+3 this turn. Huh. That, if the AI plays this card well, that could be the thing for the deck, like as a one-off. That was a misleading trinket image. Want another cleric you control inspire? No. We'll not be finding anything, will we? Oh, she has a crown. +1/+1 for each pet you control. Ah. There are a few. Oh, Ethereal Leader, Warlock Allegiance. I don't think we're there. Rogue Allegiance. Ah, yeah, there's a crown. Okay. Candles. Do we have candles? That would be cool. Is there incidental candles in this deck? No. But anyway. Back to the point. And back to chat. Super Bowl stuff. Okay, current. Ethereal Leader boots with Mortal Party Guide. Well, Ethereal Leader and War Party Guide, they were problematic. And nerf can be something like Jack Hat that will be nerfed because it's just too efficient and it doesn't have any threshold requirement, and it's going to be in 90% of the decks if it's not changed. Not really good. Like, start a turn if you control 5 or more llamas, exhaust all opposing troops. Oh, that could be it. That could be a fun one with the equipment. We could just use a War Party Guide with the equipment. All troops are Ardent troops. Hey, Dota 2 attitude, how are you doing? Fancy Mick. It's just... it's fairly standard Blue Yeti though. I mean, it's not a cheap one, but it's just a Blue Yeti. It works really well, I like it. I do like it. Alright. But yeah, back to the drawing board. So when we've got these archetypes here for attackers, current standard archetypes. The mono Ruby deck that we saw, like against the deck that we just reviewed, the recruiter deck, it would really struggle. Like really struggle. It would be highly unfavored. Not favored at all. Control deck, like even Ascension decks, what's going to happen is that the Ascension deck, like everything is going to be on the board on the first 2 or 3 turns. And the Ascension that's not going to, like, there's going to be threats on the board before the deck can start, drawing the card and being able to draw a card and also interrupt. So what's going to happen is most of the time it's going to get run over and it's going to be super hard because the AI deck is just going to attack with very big troop every single turns, and there's going to be many troops. Mono Blood does have access to Massacre, does have access to the best removal, and it is likely the best bet. But as we've seen on the stream, even with a optimized Mono Diamond recruiter deck, it still struggled a lot. Like they had problems, and if they didn't have the right removal on the start, they were toasted because their troops, they're not blocking, right? And that, I think a deck like that is in a good position against standard deck, just because the threats are so efficient. Paladin is just going to go big. This you can't leave on the board. This clears any chump blockers, and it is a very scary threat. These are free troops on turn 1. Like really free troops on turn 1. Lots of life drain. Crusader is going to give flight troops. Like there's a ton, right? There's a ton to deal with. The goal is just to remove everything, and there's no card draw in this deck. Like, we could play a Jackat or something like that, or a deployment order, and that would be likely very good. Might not even be playing Crusader in a deck like that, but for the most part, typical low curve recruiter deck, and it's going to be super strong. So and yeah, Nico is absolutely right. We're not even like, this is just a shell. Like, this is a shell of what a recruiter deck looks like right now. But as soon as we start seeing what's good against these kinds of deck, and if, for instance, the monoblood decks are really the ones to beat, a Diamond has some nice tool like this guy. When an opposing champion plays a non-resource card, each card in that champion's hand gets cost +2 this turn. So, like, this completely, you know, this makes the Diamond Sapphire deck cries, and even the Blood decks, right, often try to play a removal and something else on their turn. And this is still an efficient threat, like Steadfast, Reattack, and it's a human, so you play form ranks, and all of a sudden it's a 5/4. There's tons of things like that. So my guess is that looking at the after seeing the stream, I thought if I'm attacking, right, with the current standard decks, the one I like the most is Monoblood, because it has the best removal for very efficient threats, and the threats that PvE is going to put, if we're talking about mid-range decks for PvE, is that they're going to be playing some very highly efficient threats, and they're going to come out on turn 2, not on turn 3. So you want to be playing a shard that has access to removal, and removal for these troops. And I really liking Monoblood. And Monoblood has access to mass removal on turn 4. Although the problem is that most of the things that you want to kill on turn 4 likely is going to have 4 or higher defense at that point. And if you're... My guess is that if you're playing Massacre on turn 4, you're likely not going to win that much. Unless the deck was something that lots of low troops, but in recruiter decks, well, that might work against the Blood recruiter deck, but the Diamond recruiter deck's not going to fall to it's not going to fall to Massacre. And then we go up the mass removal ranking. We've got From the Ashes, extremely good. If you manage to survive as a control deck to be playing From the Ashes, you likely just win on the spot. Most of the mid-range AI decks not going to be sporting in a lot of card draw early, is what I'm guessing, because they won't need to at first. Because a lot of people are just going to take standard decks. Like, that's the thing. Like, for the first week, for next week, what do we expect as attackers? Attackers will just look at constructed standard right now, and they're going to take the best and most powerful deck we have in standard. That would be the first thing that they try against the siege and the eye and the defense deck. So is there any Bury deck or Bury decks standard right now? Dreadlings, Last Guard, Redling, yeah, like defenders, they have access to so much. Looking at this, I don't think playing mid-range is going to be that efficient against strong keeps. Like, you're never ever going to win the grindy value game playing standard card against PvE cards. That's not going to happen. No. Like, you will win if you encounter a dirtly aggressive deck or a not very tuned mid-range deck for PvE. But in my mind, there's no way a mid-range deck, a standard mid-range deck, is going to outvalue anything that's going on in PvE. Like, the friggin' aggressive deck, the friggin' aggressive PvE deck are going to outvalue the mid-range constructed deck. It's not as bad as this, but it's going to be hard. And I'm thinking about proper PvE decks, not just like themed fun PvE deck, like proper PvE deck. They're going to be really hard to beat. Like, just coming back to something like this card here with this equipment, if that would be standard legal, would be in every single diamond deck, everywhere. Like, it does everything. It's better than Crusader. Think about this. This 3-drop, this uncommon 3-drop with this equipment is better than a Crusader in most regards. You're likely not playing the chest equipment, but this is an uncommon, guys. It's not rare. And yeah, so I think that for the most part, like, these decks, when they hit something like a diamond recruiter deck, they're just going to hit the brick wall. And if you want to make like mid-range decks that are going to beat constructed standard mid-range deck, you're going to beat them. This is not an archetype that is going to be friendly in Siege. Same for aggro. Like, the tools that the control deck, and I'm not even sure that control is going to be a thing in Siege, because it requires the AI to play control, and we have some examples of AI that play control in Frustrating Arena to some extent. It points, but it's mainly because their deck is full of removal and card draw and some threats. But but for the most part, that question remains to be solved. So I think that standard aggro versus standard aggro, even if it's played by an AI, the efficiency of the threats are so much better with PvE that aggro, you're not going to outrun, and then you're not going to go under aggressive deck with your aggressive deck. You're not going to win, even with the best that standard can give you against PvE, against proper aggressive decks. So maybe we need some kind of table. Like, yeah, I think I got an idea. Let's see if Ren Excel can because what do we have here? Let's say we have PvE decks on an axis, and we've got standard deck, standard archetypes on the other. Let's say we've got aggro, mid-range, we've got control, and let's just do this, like mid-range and control, and these are standard, I just write AI PV because this is fairly relevant. And then we see like what is happening in there. What's going to happen? I think that for the most part, to say that the AI PV faster, and I just, you know what, let's just say this matchup I would put the AI PV favored. Yeah, okay, I'll go like that. Like this would be AI PV favored. Like matchup aggro versus aggro would be AI PV favored. So this we could even do this. And this. Okay, so I think AI PV would be favored there. Now we've got AI PV aggro versus standard human. Standard human. Human standard. Standard deck. Against mid-range, I think I would give the upper end to human standard deck here, because like your mid-range deck, it can run a lot of removal, and you can still run Crusaders, you can still run things that are going to be good value, and if you just survive long enough against aggressive deck, you should be good. The problem would be things like Laskar's Vengeance and such, but we've got the Cry and we're human players, so we can do we can bait things and force 2-for-1s and such. So I think like AI aggro versus human mid-range, I think human mid-range will be winning, even though we can do some very silly things with very silly things with the AI aggro here. So AI aggro versus human plate control. I think this is AI. I think this is AI. The level of stupid strong cards that the aggressive decks have, even played by the AI. We're speaking in a world where we live, where we have the Crowd War, we have Lasgar's Vengeance, we have Speed Voice of the Ashwood, amongst other things. And we've got the zero cost action that gives Rage 1 to all troops. We've got so many things, like we've got Sting Shot Sniper with the glove equipment. Like The Yetis are better. And one of the big things that go against control is that you don't have reserves. And playing control is going to be super hard, playing control winning 3 games in a row because you don't have reserves. And control really shines with reserves. And that's a big issue for the human player, not having reserves against these PvE decks. So I think this would be AI favored. Now, human aggro versus AI mid-range. I don't know. I really don't know. What do you guys feel? How do you guys feel about general idea of you're the human, you're playing an aggressive deck, and you're fighting AI controlled mid-range decks. Usually the mid-range decks, they should be able to deal with aggro decks, and I think they usually are favored. So if they usually are favored, yeah, I think aggro wins. Aggro wins as a human. Yeah, mid-range PV, mid-range AI is going to be a tough sell. I can get behind that. So human wins there. And human... Okay, so... mid-range versus mid-range, I really think the AI will win. And even... tends to pimp overall and wrong targets. Yeah, point. Yeah, I can see that. Control. So AI controlled mid-range versus human control. I think one is tough. This has to go with what we know we have in standard right now, but I think I would put the AI favored here. The reason is that the AI the mid-range decks from PvE are roughly as quick to kill, like they kill on 4 and 5, which would be an aggressive deck in standard. So there's going to be a lot of mid-range decks that are going to just go under control, human control decks. And of course this wraps up to, you know, to know the meta, right? But I think for the most part, control against mid-range is going to be very hard. AI versus human control. Human. Yeah. Like the control matchup. This one should be human. This one should be human. For sure. That's the only one where I see human winning. Like the mirror that the human wins. The ones to be able to beat are bright with 0 forward ram momentum and candles. So human played aggro versus AI control. I don't think we've... I can see human going under AI control deck for the most part, like with a very quick deck. What does the control deck played by the AI look like? We never really, like, we built a fair deal of aggressive and mid-rangey aggressive decks for the AI, just because the context of PvE with X was that was such that it was like farming loots and gold. So there was really no point in creating a control deck for the most part. So AI combo, well, oh yeah, sure, we can do that. Like, but I don't think the nature of combo makes it so that I don't think we can even like put anything in there, because some combos are extremely different in terms, both in terms of speed and power. So it's very hard to make a generalization with combo for the most part. Yes, we can control it, but control, you know, aggro, mid-range, and control for the most part, they usually go play by the same rules, but combo decks, they tend to have widely different rules, and I think it's going to be hard, but I'll put it there. Like, I think for the most part, combo versus I'm not even sure that's true. Like, the combo that you can do in PvE are just stupid. Like, original, for instance. Like, even if you have a strong combo deck played by a human, a original combo deck should be able to destroy you. That's the only one that comes to mind right now, but we could... Yeah, I guess Majesty would be a great one. Like, the AI is going to play Majesty properly. It's just going to play Majesty and pick the biggest, most stupid strong troop that it finds, and it's going to win. It's going to use a damage gem, and it's going to hit something with speed, and it's going to win. So I think I put the AI there. I know we should be able to fill that. Let's just finish control. So AI played control against human aggro. I think human should be winning. But there's some stupid strong removal for the removal for PvE is quite strong. Like morphology, we've got contract killing, we've got a decent amount of things. What do you guys think? Human aggro versus AI control. Nah, I think, yeah, this should be human. This should be human. This should be human. Okay. Human mid-range versus AI control. I think it's going to be AI, because the control card in PvE, they're likely going to negate most of the value of the mid-range decks. And mid-range decks are troops, and it's really easy for PvE deck to just deal with value troops. Like morphology, contract killing, we've got repulse of wood, something like that. We've got the trickster, we've got a ton of cards to deal with mid-range as a control deck with the AI. And it doesn't need to be fancy, right? The cards are just that efficient. I think this is... Why, you know what? Looking at that, look at that. Look at this table. If Siege ends up looking like this table right now, it would be extremely balanced. Look at that. Same number of AI favored than human favored. This is super cool. So would mean that for the most part, as a human, it would mean that for defense you don't want to be playing control decks, and you likely want to be playing aggressive decks. And it means that for attackers, you likely want to be playing aggressive decks, and you don't want to be playing control decks. Does that make sense? No, okay, so AI wants to be playing mid-range. That doesn't, I'm reading this wrong. AI wants to be playing mid-range or control. Because, yeah. And human wants to be playing aggressive for the most part. So, yeah. So, defenders are... attacker. So... yeah, like... this... let's just put it in... black. So this would be the preferred... this would be the preferred deck for human from that table. And these would be the preferred for defense. And we're not factoring combo here. It's so hard. And keep in mind, we're just doing the exercise for... because this is likely going to shift a ton as the meta develops. And then it's going to be, you know, what how good are the AI personalities? How good are we at milking out the AI personalities? So, you know what? I guess, yeah. If we're just concentrate on like week 1 or like first 2 weeks, I think it might be okay. Control card that the AI can manage, it's likely going to be fairly easy. Like you just create a deck full of card draw and efficient removal and some really hard to deal like high cost threats. And shouldn't be too bad. Like, yes, there's a type of control that requires you to play it requires you to play interrupts, right? But it's PvE. We have access to all cards. You can play extinction, like on turn 4, straight up destroy everything, and like clean, like blood decks in PvE. They're going to be able to live through 4 resources even against the aggressive decks, in my opinion. And then they're just going to wipe the board. Like, you're just running 4 extinction in your block deck. You're likely going to destroy most aggressive and mid-range decks, for the most part. The AI is just going to extinction as soon as there's a couple troops on the board. And then you just pick whatever, you know, card you want to use as a win condition. It could be something like, I don't know, an Angel of Foresight. Like, you don't care if, like, you put a deck full of mass removal and the only troop is Angel of Foresight. And then that's it. Like, the AI is going to point removal at everything. And at some point it's going to play Angel of Foresight. And then from that point on, it's going to keep playing actions. And at some point it's just going to be a massive amount of Angels of Foresight on the board. And that's it. Right, the AI control deck, they're not going to be fancy. They're just going to be very, very efficient. Yeah, I think I love that table. What do you guys think? I do this and then go here and no, that doesn't work at all. Looks like a table. Yeah, it looks like it. Because it is. Hmm. Okay. So, you're an attacker. What do you use on day one? On day one, for defenders, the decks are not going to be that efficient. No one is going to have a lot of experience with AI. And I think for the most part, running like day one, I think this becomes like first week. I think we're looking at this. And we may even look at this for the most part, but it's going to be hard. Like, lean on this card, maybe. The problem with bury decks played by humans is that your bury cards are not affecting the board, and you're not doing anything. And what the AI will be playing is like extremely good 2-drops, like game-winning 2-drops, and then game-winning 3-drops all over the place. If we're speaking about mid-range, if we're speaking about aggro, I don't think, like, there's no way no, let me change that. In my opinion, this is my opinion, based on a lot of conjecture, but in my opinion, standard legal bury deck is going to be extremely bad against in siege, for the most part. Because you're not going to beat aggressive decks, and you're likely going to get destroyed by mid-range decks. We're not, like, yes, this is a control deck, but it's usually targeted at control decks, right? Because it's worse at dealing with mid-range than a more common or standard control deck. So when you're playing bury, you're aiming at beating control decks. You're not aiming at beating mid-range or, you know, aggressive decks, because they're worse than control deck at that. And I really don't think you want to start attacking as a standard deck with bury. I think that would be an error. Even in the first few days where the AI will be playing weird things, and people will be discovering that the AI like has a lot of faults with some cards that they did not expect, and they lost a lot of games because of it. So you want to be banking on misplays from the AI for the most part. On the first few days, I think I'd go with control as an attacker, and we already have some, you know, I get the attacker inventory of decks. No, we already have something like all these, you know, monoblood control deck. They're easy to adapt, and then you can do some nice things. I believe I had one. Was this one Dark Verdict? Yeah, something like that. A bit closer, a bit lower in terms of curve, and you're playing, like, if you're playing blood control and you're entering siege on the first few days, kill Blade of the Milky Eye. Play Kill Blade of the Milky Eye. This card trades with 99% of the monstrosity 1, 2, and 3 drops that PvE can just, you know, straight up send your way. Also, the AI even right now seems to have learned that lethal is dangerous, and that the AI will be losing troops. And I'm guessing that playing an early lethal troop on turn 1 or 2 is going to be enough to completely stall AIs. So my blood attackers deck right now for the first few days at the very least is running Kill Blades of the Milky Eye. I'm really liking Vampire Prince, evasive attacker, life drain, provides you with additional resources, works extremely well with Bright one of the key cards for attackers, because the power level is so high that even without any equipment, her power level is higher than the average good PvE card, than the average powerful PvE card with equipment. So this is one of the few cards that you have in standard are that good. Dark card would be in there as well. Oh, Daughter just woke up, so I'll put myself on mute and I'll be back in about 2 or 3 minutes. May or may not have been a false alarm. We'll see. Alright. Lean on discard. And especially scared of lethal. Yeah. So, yeah. Lethal. Like 8 lethal troops. Dark Heart is just Dark Heart, right? It's going to deal with a lot of things. And it's again one of the few cards that you have in standard that in terms of raw power is way higher than your average powerful PvE card. So you're playing that. You're playing Bride. You're playing Summon of Hero Fall. Like these 3 cards here, the power level is so high. Like you really want to be playing that. And this was a test with Verdict, but they mentioned on the stream that the AI was starting to be decent with Verdict, like aka it's not random anymore how the AI uses Verdict. So I think for the most part I would not be relying on Verdict that much. I would open like 8 card slot for the monoblood control-ish deck. So don't believe them. Well, here's my thought process is that if the AI uses a randomized Verdict, then I really like Verdict. If the AI start choosing things, even if it's not good at it, it removes a ton of value. You know, it's a very significant improvement between random and like starting to be able to identify the right choice once every 3 choices, for instance. And this deck in particular didn't really add enough Verdict to make it so it could still be playing ZX Judgment because it's a card draw. Like if we're not running these cards, the problem is, what are we running? We don't want to run a ton of removal. We do want to run a decent amount of removal, but for the most part here... Oh, I got the... Yay, I got the bug again. Where I can see all the effects in the game with some placeholder. I'm really good at generating this bug. Really, really, really good. Radiation art. Arcana fuel radiation. That's interesting. All the blessings. But the effects into my deck. Yeah, I cannot. Venom. What's cool when the bug happens is that this is the only place in the client where you can see what the corners of the world do. Like, you have them in the client, but you can never see them. You need to have a bug to see them. And from what I told, this is more or less a a kind of a developer backdoor that they have, and there's a way to, like, depending on how you manipulate the how you manipulate your collection manager, sometimes you can trigger it by mistake. It doesn't do anything, like you can't really mess with the game live in production, but yeah, that was a bug. If you never saw it, that was the collection manager bug. Alright, so we're an attacker, we're standard legal. Creates blessing outside of the cleric power. I don't think so. So what do we want to be doing here? I don't think running things like Withering Gaze is going to be that good. You really don't want to have dead cards. Really don't. So we're playing a bright deck, and we need to stabilize. Or draw cards. Well, yeah, maybe we still play. Not a lot of draw, right? How do we draw cards here? We want to refuel. Could steal intel. Howard paid. Might want the 4th strangle. I don't think we want. Maybe we even want 4 hero fall, and then we're at 6 cards missing. Wait, was that an animated one? Always a dex. The dex might be okay, but it's just draw 1 with some amount of effects that may or may not be random. Like, I could just be running Blood's Favor. Opposing champion, discard a card, random. You can make them discard a card, you can draw 2 cards, or you can void each opposing champion script. You can gain some amount of health with it. Like, really love the draw 2 on this guy. I think on average the average set adjustment is going to be worse than the Blood's Favor, and if you get to play it again for 0, then you're likely slightly ahead. How many games will you be playing more than one judgment? Like the same judgment more than once though? That's the thing. And that's a ton of 3 cost cards, like. But the other one is 3 cost as well, so maybe we just go like that, and then we're getting back to the first version of the deck with more verdict. Yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense. A bit less removal, but more verdicts. We'll see. Something along these lines, right? Or it could just be like that. But something like that, like something. This I tried in the arena, and I had some very good things with it. And this one was using IXO because it was running 4 decades, and then the verdict often generates you know, things to sacrifice. It could be like another champion. I don't think I would go with a 6 charge champion to draw cards though. That seems a bit rough. And if you can like if you manage to use a 6 charge power that just costs you health and draw you 2 cards, you're likely already winning. I don't think I want a champion power like that. Right now, I choose at random. Now random devs said that they started to teach the AI to wisely. So maybe even Renner. Like if we're playing against PvE decks, stealing their cards, that might be the way. Maybe you play Renner and then you play what's the Fallen Singularity, and then you just steal their cards and they're likely going to be better than yours. that might be the that might be the way, right? Like just steal their cards, they're better than yours. That's how you win. I turn it win condition is Fallen Singularity. I kind of like Singularity though. We're playing like Vampires and Brides and Dark Hearts, although that doesn't combine with Dark Heart pretty well. But it's hard to imagine a scenario where you have a living Dark Heart and that you'd rather have Singularity instead of Dark Heart, so I think that's good. So maybe something like that. Like play the Verdict game and just play Renner with Fallen Singularity. I can see that. I really don't want to go discard. Like we already cards that do not draw and do not have, like all our card draw does affect the board to some extent. All cards that we have affects the board besides the 2 Singularity. Like that's where I want to be. I think from the start, attacking sieges. I want to be like every single card I play, I want to affect the board. Every single one of them. And this is not quite a control deck though. I mean, yeah. Brides and Dark Hearts and yeah, I guess that's a control deck. Just playing 2 mass removal-ish. That costs 7. Some amount of here. It might just play 1 Singularity. And maybe we just don't play Lackey at all. Since we're not playing Ixo. And I think we're just going to go Strangle. Like. And Hero Fall. Just make sure that we have the good stuff. Like, not try to be too fancy with that. Warriors Violent Dread Transport Control. Huh. I don't know. I haven't tried to go at it. But this should be okay. I was doing decent in the Frustrating Arena with this one. Well, a version of this. And I think it should be okay for the most part. We give it Dark Verdict. Like, it should be able to beat most mid-range-ish decks. I guess. I just want to survive for Bride. And then you should be good. Yeah. I think we would keep that, right? Kill Blade on turn 1, followed by a removal, should be able to stabilize against AI decks. Like, this is why I accept this one, because this one just friggin' nullify our deck for some reason. Yeah, we want card draw and Fall, okay. That's still pretty decent. What I'm running is in Darkheart is plus do attack when something dies on the opposing side and speed. I'm not running any major. I'm just running like very aggressive Darkheart. That just becomes bigger. Oh no, the AI wants to steal my cards. Yay. Like right now it's fairly obvious that the AI chose at random. But we'll see if it becomes better with the patch. I think we should. This. And this. This. Because why not? And you're useless, so we're going to Darkheart next turn. And then we're going to have a Turtle Leader. That should be the thing, alright. Darkheart number 1. We're going to sacrifice a Kill Blade. That's that. I think I'm just going to sit there and have very, very threatening Darkhearts. And you. And we attack. And we're going to lose 1. No? Okay. I want to. Oh, it was each troop. It's not each opposing troop. That was a mistake. Not too big of a mistake, but a mistake nonetheless. Now we're going to sacrifice our friends here. Oh, we've got a bride and a judgment. Hey. Yeah, bright fueling Darkhearts is kind of nice. It's kind of nice. And then we attack. Okay. Yeah, I think something like that I can get behind. Like Dark Verdict. If the... It really depends on the value, the value of the average verdict though. I'm really not sure. But we don't have that many... We don't have that much other options for card draw slash value-ish. And it's still card draw that kind of have fixed the board. Like most hands are pretty decent. Like we've got 8 removal, so we should have 1 removal in most starting hands, and like brides and yeah, I guess and card draw. I think this build I really like for offense. It's likely not super good against combo deck, but should be okay for the most part. Bride is such a beast. Like right now, this would be. How would you qualify Seaweed Behemoth's deck as an AI? like this is kind of a rampy big threats deck, right? So we've got about 5 turns to set up, and then we're in trouble. But that's more than enough. Or am I planning to counters? You mean on offense or on defense? Guessing you mean on defense. On defense, that's an interesting one because an easy shortcut to do with defense deck would be to play. Would be just to play Dark Hearts, right? Because in PvE, Dark Hearts they come out on turn 3 and 4, 3 and 4. But if we expect a lot of Dark Hearts, playing Sockets as an attacker deck is very good. So if you're defending against Socket, what do you do? I don't think that the Socket deck can deal well. It's mostly a mid-range deck, and even though it's impervious to Dark Hearts for the most part, I think that like something like the Diamond Recruiter deck and Blood Recruiter deck are still favored. That was a neat trick. Okay, I think we can go full Bride. Which one do we still? Not this one for sure. Sadly, we don't have enough, and we've got... You know what? I'd be happy to trade. Okay. I was... I was fretting for a second. I was... yeah, how do you counter Socket as a defender? Like Socket's speed is okay. I mean, turn 4-5-ish. F4 Bright is... well, maybe we'll get a harder card. Hey, Bucks Categorical, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. So, Sockets. It builds a whiteboard and an attack. It's not great at dealing with mass removal for the most part. So, something like Lasgar's Vengeance and Extinction. I mean, Extinction itself like should just deal with most like Socket decks. Like if you're playing Sockets and then you just run into the like playing 4 copies of Extinction plus some amount of good removal, I think it should be more than enough. I think that should be more than enough. Animus is a problem for sure. But I think, like Recruiter deck for instance, they're going to be able to get as big as having an Animus on the board. That was... we did draw an extra card, so that's okay. Foreman is taking his sweet time right now. Daybreak, and then we do another all weekend. Could just do this. I don't know. Vampire that deck, maybe. While from rank was used as a trick, it prioritized weaker early board states. Yeah. But you still have like Daughter of the Poet bringing things back. You've got Recruiter that's growing every time there's an Ardent Troop coming into play. You've got some amount of life drain. You've got the Paladins that are going to get way bigger than anything that the Sucket deck would have on the board. So I mean, Suckets is a very good deck, and the fact that it trumps Darkheart really makes it interesting. From the gate, I think it's very interesting because Darkheart is going to be everywhere. So I think I love the idea of Suckets. It would need to be different, but Animus Sucket, that would be cool. And Wise Magistrate is definitely something you want. I sure take some amount of damage. This should have been... Oh, it's okay. We've got chum blockers. Not a problem. Maybe we get another vampire for this bloodstone. I've got a million health. Really don't care. Really don't care. Okay. Oh no, my judgment card. Woo! Another judgment card. Okay. And then we do this. We do this. Oh no, booby trap. Kinda want bride. No, we kinda want to kill this guy. Then we attack with a bunch of flight troops. Yeah, I think this deck works. Obviously we're not fighting strong decks right now. This elite should be interesting. You know, just thought of something. How prevalent are vampires life drain index in standard? Not at all, because there's only one. Well, there's two vampires, but the second one is a queen and it's 6 cost. So kind of keep that. So shards plus Bride plus something guaranteed, I think is going to be good enough. Bride against the botanist should be a priority. Oh, look at that. Okay. Like, kill blades are going to be so strong. Wasn't there a 1/1 lethal in standard right now that is wild as well? I could see just running the 8. And then do whatever the heck you want with the rest. Like 8 1/1 lethal in Blood Wild as an attacker plus any control card. Like go really slow. Like maybe even the what is it called, the constant that create drillings. Like could be a Malice type deck. Just get a bunch of lethal troops, like 1/1 lethal troops, and then yeah, the Shroomkin, and then that's it. You don't need anything else. You're going to likely stall the AI for the most part, and and then you just do whatever you want. So that might be a way. This botanist start was so bad for him. Like he's usually extremely aggressive. I was extremely lucky with that fight. Quite sure what you do, but you're mine now. Yeah, value of bride is just so good. I kinda want to kill a guy. I am getting the dreadlings back, but oh yeah. We're going to get all the dreadlings. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. Not you. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Yes. Did not lose a bride. Okay. These are big. These are big. Okay. This. Strangle this guy. And we can attack with everything and win. Yeah. I think a blood shell like that for the attacker is likely very good. Like it deals with most stuff, and I think one of the traps that people are going to run into while attacking, playing siege, attacking in siege early, is going to be using things like massacre. Massacre is not going to be the answer you want. You're not going to stabilize with massacre. It's going to be way too late, and the things you're going to want to kill are going to be bigger than that. I think kill blades are going to be better. Kill blades with like a couple removal, something like bride, now or dark heart. Now you're talking. Now you're stabilizing. Vampire Prince to gain some amount of health, like this is something nice. Not use troops. I think it's a fair trade. Back with this. We get a shard. Nope. And then Zedek Judgment. Bring to justice, that's nice. Can deal with the pet. Okay, so the other way, the other type of control deck that I wanted to build was this. Oh, you know what? That was a mistake. I should have bring to justice that girl. And I'm even fueling a script right now, so this is a problem. Should have a guy here. We want to dark heart now. That wasn't great. Hey, we've got a shard. I think the next step is Fallen Singularity. Like, these kill blades are just so good against the eye. That is a problem. We have a decent amount of removal to try and deal with that. However, We're going to need to find them pretty quickly. So we've got 3 Hero Falls left. We're going to have Dark Heart. The Dark Heart is not a key here. Likely rather just put Singularity on the board. And start targeting this with Ride. And hope that I'm going to be able to block it at some point. Not looking good. I did use my removal very deliberately, knowing that I would be facing Bolt Art, so I would likely be in real trouble, but yeah, it's not greatest, but we'll see. Okay. I think this is still a fair deck though against the AI. Just need to find the right top end. I'd like this deck to be playing From the Ashes though. Like, I really want to be attacking with a deck that has From the Ashes, and I might just run From the Ashes 4 times in that deck as the mass removal instead of this and trying to be cute here. Just From the Ashes, like 4. Just straight up 4 From the Ashes. And we're going to get the thresholds for things, and this enables some better Dark Heart gems as well, like 4 defense Dark Heart, Light Swift Strike Dark Heart with the +2 attack when something dies. Would be neat. Or just when we draw it, -2 cost. Have some very cheap Dark Hearts, maybe? And that could be a thing against the AI. Like, turn 3 Dark Hearts or turn 4 Dark Hearts, but I don't think it's going to be happening enough. Like Flight and Swift Strike with plus attack or speed. Then just speed, like, but I think just go with 2 and then it becomes a 6. Remove speed. And then we go with Light Swift Strike. Okay, so I love that we're enabling that. And then we can remove the Cruel Sentence. And then we go with Guidance. I really love this upgrade as well. That is a very good upgrade. We also may want to change Strangle for something else. Something that voids, because there's going to be a decent amount of Dead Cry. So maybe Grasp as our early removal. Not as good as Strangle though. Could be running like, we do want to be playing Prince on 2 for the most part, so we don't want to go overboard. But yeah, this is attacking. What do we have that draws on in Diamond? There's something better than Zedek Judgment? We've got guidance that's in the deck. Volatile Banes, Revert all cards index. Revert all cards index might be relevant. This, not a whole lot. It could be that we just run more shards instead of Zedek Judgment. No, we're still playing Zedek Judgment. Zedek's Judgment, like just having guidance and from the ashes is that like 4 Strangles, 4 Eurofall, Brides, and Killblaze. We should be able to survive up to turn 5 and 6. And this should solve most board states. We're not creating big attackers, but we can certainly win with swinging Dark Hearts. And Bride plus From the Ashes is just steal everything anyway. So something like that. Actually, that would be a save as... That's a new deck. That would be Blood. Blood. Diamond. Would be Dark Judgment. Judgment. Yeah. I kind of like this idea. Just play the strong cards that are going to, like, From the Ashes. Like, if you're behind and you need to play a card, From the Ashes is likely the pick. Dark Heart and to an extent Zedek Judgment deal with non-troop problems. And the rest is removal, some amount of life gain, lethal troops, and card draw. Wait, I got this bug again. Damn it. We do want to likely this and likely want to do this, and I'm not quite sure that I want to be running ice. 8. What is our friend hypergeometric tells us in this situation? 68. We want turn 6, so turn 6 would be 7 plus 5 on the play. 13. We want 2 success. Yeah, 50% of the time we can cast. We would be able to cast From the Ashes on turn 6. I don't think that's good enough. So we want. Yeah, we can likely afford. Ish. I don't think I want to go more than 8 slow shards. If we go at 4, we're at 12. And now we're at 80%. So 12, yeah, 12, I like that. On the play, 80% of the time we can play From the Ashes on turn 6. And then we want to be playing, we want 2 blood on turn 2. So we've got 24. We've got 20 blood sources, more or less. 20, and then turn 2 would be 8. 82. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. It should be a shard base that works. And now that we're doing that, though, we have access to diamond champions as well. I'm going to go with Eld for the most part. Cadillac. Oh no. Ivan. It might just be Renner, the best bet, but because Renner's having 24 is very significant. I really don't want to champion with Verdict. Getting back a troop from the crypt? No, I don't think so. +2/+2 on a Vampire Prince would be okay, I guess. Preventing blocks, I'm not sure. Getting this only gets Vampire Prince, but it also gets back Killblade and Vampire Prince. Still pretty good. Dogs, maybe. This is a late game win, but any troops that you can grow should be okay. We're not doing Papagoot. I guess Cadillac at 25 is great, but I still think Renner is likely to pick here. Just steal their troops, and mass removal. And then Beetle. Good removal. So third threshold should be diamond. Third and fourth threshold should be diamond. Something like that. We want 2 diamond on turn 6. That means wanting 2 diamond is hard. With Bride. Not quite sure. Does that work? This would be base that shouldn't be there. So Dark Judgment, Sleep. This is a proper Bride deck, right? Battleborn. Okay. Alright. Herald still center if you want threshold. Yeah, I know, but do we want threshold fiction? I don't think. Yeah, it's so low of an impact of a card though. That's the problem. You can't afford, like, you're playing standard against PvE. You need something that's going to generate a ton of value. A metric ton of value. And this is not even like, is this really a control deck? Will you guys qualify this deck as a control deck? So we've got 8 removal, 4 board wipes, a bunch of lethal troops, and dark cards. So yeah, I guess it. Yeah, it's very much a control deck. Okay. We want strangle or guidance. Going to go with blood on this. That way we can either strangle or guidance on the next turn. Right, I think we're going... guidance. We want shards. We want... Yeah, another strangle. That's fine. So next turn, removal or ZX Judgment. That's going to be removal, right? Strangle. Tringle killing Crusaders is pretty darn good because in PvE it's a lot easier to have good one-offs to enable Crusaders. So right with that's not going to be stealing a lot of cards anytime soon, but it's still a little troop that is doing -1/-1s. Feels like a trap. I think in this situation we just want a dark card. Right, we're going to lose a bride, but we kind of want to start eating these. We might want to wait one turn for dark heart. And then what they're sacrificing, if they're troops, we're going to be stealing. So that could be the way. Sure. Now we're starting to steal things. Yeah, maybe Dark Heart, yeah. So Dark Heart wasn't the answer there. Do we steal that? Threshold worked fine for this game. No, cheap shot. Fine with that. And now our From the Ashes are triggered. Bright is such a good card. Such a good card. Oh my god, this is good. Yeah, I think this is a nice balance. This would be, I think we're close to a blood deck that I like. It feels that we have enough, like, for guidance, Zedek Judgment is okay for card draw. And we've got the Brides for value, we've got the Ashes for value. We've got the Dark Hearts for value. Also happens to be game winning. I might regret this. Timestamp Magistrate is a pain in the ass. So, okay. This is going to be Diamond. Getting a shard. I was hoping that this would not happen. I don't think I can choose the... I don't think I can choose the first diamond over the second blood in this deck. We'll see. I mean, all my cards are unplayable right now, but yeah. I was a misplay. I got 4 basic diamond in the deck. 4. I'm at 3 now. No, I played 2, right? I played a well. Let's go again. Guidance into the last. Yeah, okay. Way better. Stealing a card. I'll take that. I will take that, but right now, you see, we're fighting PvE, right? And we're fighting a deck that's not doing anything until turn 5. Well, that's fairly easy. But when you're going to face, like, when you're going to go in siege and attack, this is not going to happen at all. Like, you're going to face the best starts from these decks, and most of the best starts from these decks, even the non-elites, are hard to deal with. So yeah, I don't think Attacker is going to be favored that much. Hero Fall and the Taunt Crier, maybe? I guess. Well, we're doing okay now, but the AI just didn't do anything, right? The deck or the AI, I don't know what the AI has in it, but like it's not doing anything. So yeah, of course I'm winning, but it's not because, well, I don't know. Is it because the AI is dumb? Is it because like 7 resources and 2 cards in hand? It's likely combat tricks, maybe. Like a good upgrade tactician start is going to really kill you fast. Like, I'm not sure. I like this build though. I think I really like this build. Like being able to play from the ashes, going to be very, very good. So we want the second blood before we want the first diamond. I think that was the thought process. Going to go for turn 2 Vampire Prince. And turn 3 I'm not quite sure just yet. That's interesting. Okay. Okay. We're good. You can deal with a bit of big down right now. Where do we go from there? I don't think we're going to be... We don't have a lot of turn 4s with our decks, so... I think this is the situation where we want the first diamond. And we can put another prince, and we do guidance. Profile, that's fine, that's nice. Nice, not blocking. Not blocking at all. And we can do this. Maybe we get +1/+1, yes. Okay. You know what? There's no bride in sight, so I'm just going to get my second diamond. And if I get bride, then I get bride. These should generate blood shards. So I got all the blood shards that I need. And now I'm starting to be, you know, threatened, right? You can start with playing that. Get a card. Didn't do much. Do we want to go into Dark Heart mode? I don't think so. I think we're gonna want to go Vampire and then removal on the next turn. And we should be able to kill him with flight troops. Okay. Here we go. Alright. No. 24 is more than enough. And we just do this, and we're good. No from the ashes, but yeah, I think enabling Bride on turn 7. Ooh, okay, so that should be closer to what we're going to do in Siege. That's what I wanted to test. That's what I wanted to test. Alright. Let's do this. Okay. I'd like to have a non-slow shard for turn 2, but I don't think I should be fetching for shards at this point. Going to be turn 3 strangle. Yeah. Just making sure that I get some cards and then this needs to die. I mean, we're playing strangle now, so it's good. Is this the first diamond? I don't think so. Strangle. Get out. Okay, so first problem solved. Ish. He's stuck on resources, so that's good for us. Now that's an opening to be playing this guy. I am going to get the first diamond now. Last turn. Taking our keeps and stream. This will be the most fun. Oh god. Now this is why we have From the Ashes in the deck right now. This is exactly why we have From the Ashes in our deck. We do need to draw them though. Not that bad of a turn. We can't play Hero Fall. Our troops will be exhausted, so we need Hero Fall. And since my vampire is going to be exhausted, I'm going to attack with it. And we Hero Fall something this turn. Yes. Okay. You. And then you. Okay. From the Ashes. We need you. Was not a bad pull at all. Alright, Bride. Bride is okay. Oh, it has. Oh, the error. God, the error. Holy schnitzel. Yep. From the Ashes. Not From the Ashes. Oh my god. That one hurt. I made a mistake. I don't think... Did I have? Yeah, if I didn't attack with the Vampire Prince, I had one more turn to find a From the Ashes. And with From the Ashes, I think we would have been okay-ish. That's why we have From the Ashes, right? So... DI still had like card draw and stuff, so we had a free adjustment. Yeah, I think we had a good chance with From the Ashes, but oh well. This should be shards. Is that even a deck that wants Dark Heart? That's the question. Blood. Always get the second blood before the third diamond. Like, it's the 5th fight, and I haven't seen one From the Ashes yet. Here we go. We don't really have 4 cost cards, so I'm going to Zedek Judgment now. Nice. Yeah. And that enables turn 3 Bride with God of Retribution. Yeah. Going to get blood with that. More so now that we have a you are annoying. What do you give? Yeah, card draw. Yeah, yeah, okay. all the cards over and over again. No. Well, this is a dark heart situation. Or a bright guidance into shard into Killblade situation. Hey, bring to justice. Yeah, I think Renner is going to be. Oh, really? Yeah, I'm 100% dealing with you. And then, oh, look at that, from the ashes. Are we doing this? I think we're dark hearting. Hey, we've got a bride. We've got a daybreak to sacrifice. A blood shard. Oh yeah. Now we're talking. Turn 7. Steal that guy for dark heart. And deal with this now. That means we're stealing this. Okay. Means we're attacking with these two because we want to draw cards. We're just getting the... Yeah. Okay. Dark hearts and brides. That's all you need. Dark hearts and brides. And then we set up from the ashes if we need to. Blood. What do we get? We get you, and then you would be nice. And then we can attack with these. And we can steal. What do you do? When does damage with draw a card? Let's get another one. Oh, it's unique. No, the error. Okay, well, we're good, right? Dark heart with brides. This is how we do it. We steal their things with brides, dark hearts, and from the ashes. That is what we're doing. Zedek Judgment gives fodder. Yeah. And this, and this, and this, and that. Speed is cool. We do want speed. Okay. Alright. Like 6. Yeah, I really like the Dark Heart with flight. Swift strike and +2 attack makes them into finishers, evasive finishers. Going to solve a lot of problems. Twilight Revenant. And brides and strangles are minus. They're not destroy effect, so yeah, you really the moral of the story, I think, is that Killblades are going to be in 4 copies every single blood attacker's deck. They should be. Like, if there's one thing I'm getting away from tonight is Killblade of the Milky Eye, if you're going to attack, you put 4. Mandatory 4. At least for the first few days. And it's likely going to stay that way. By the way, I'm loving these guidance. This is the best card draw ever. Alright. Got Hero Fall, our card, Prince. So what if I'm also going to steal your cards as a defender? You're going to be better at it, but the AI will be stealing the cards and not a human, which makes a ton of difference. Although, like, just imagine like defender's deck with 4 of each vampire prince, princess, and king. The rest is removal and card draw. Like, this is going to be a pain in the ass. Real pain in the ass. Phantom, draw. Not too bad. Get more shards. We got a dark heart. Opponent has some armor ish, and he can destroy our troops. So that's the kind of unfair things I'm expecting to happen. I think we just dark heart here. Mana them. Yeah, I don't quite like that card, but yeah, sure. I don't see why I don't see why a PvE defender deck would like to steal PvP attackers cards, but maybe I'm missing something. I think I'm just going to go full dark heart mode. Like, this should be more than enough to deal with any... If you survive up to that point, that is. I kind of like the idea of sacrificing the dust seed. And we want this. And we'll just stack with, yeah, these dark hearts with plus attack and swift strike and flight. They're what's really making a difference. Sure. Direct judgment. Phantom, guidance. This guy. Attack with the dark hearts. Oh no. By the way, this guy could be okay against the AI. The AI doesn't understand how he works. Huh. I quite like this build now. With the From the Ashes and the guidance. It does a lot of things. Does a lot of nice things. Guidance and Zedek Judgment. Against an elite, I still don't think I should be going for diamond until I have 2 blood threshold. Even more so when I have a Fate Weave shard. Alright. Dark Heart. Well, I guess at that point I'm going to go with diamond. And then draw a non-shard. Okay. Turn 3 Zedek Judgment is not too bad. Our elite opponent is not being very aggressive right now, so that's good. Alternatively, we'll deal with Terramil. Well, we know for sure that Terramil is being modified to a degree. And that it would get less efficient. So right now, we just don't know how good Terramil would be, but it is certainly something to keep in mind. Am I dropping the bride? Or I'm just going next turn. I think I'm going to drop the bride and make this one unable to attack into the bride. And we see what we face next turn. Okay. Okay. That is unfair. That also, we're looking at From the Ashes on turn 6 right now. That just to be clear, if we survive, this is what we're doing. Can Bride, Blood Shard, do this, put this, and then we wait and we have Strangle, and next turn we can we can do this. Oh, okay. Maybe we just... This was supposed to be a Bride, okay. We are stealing things. I think the board is too... Oh, we're stealing everything? If we wait one turn, we're stealing everything. Can we wait one turn? Not quite sure. 2 random troops are going to be transformed into Dread Dinglers. Worst case scenario is 2 5-drops attacking, and I... Think I'm okay? Famous last words? Yeah, I'm okay. Alright, that works. That works. Yeah, I sacrificed the... Oh, well, that's interesting. Oh yeah, more than okay. I'm super okay. This... And then we could just do this. I'm not quite sure I want that troop though. And then we get something. And we get something else. What is target yourself. Why are you spell shield? One another troop transform spell shield, okay. Dark Heart and Brides. That's the combo. Maybe we don't run 4 from the Ashes. Well, it's hard to tell right now. Yeah. We're likely just running 4 from the Ashes anyway, like from the start. But this deck is likely going to end up with 3 or 2. Depending on what the meta looks like, but Brides and Dark Hearts. That's a pretty good combination. Brides and Dark Hearts. I'm doing fairly well right now in the frustrating arena with this deck. I'm going to fight the elite and the boss here, and then going to stop with this deck. I have another Dark Heart deck, but if you think that Dark Heart are pricey right now, wait until Siege releases. It's going to be one of the like top 5 cards to use it in as an attacker in Siege. This is not good. Got from the Ashes though. And we've got Hero Fall on turn 3. Yeah, I'm really glad Dark Heart is an account reward, because that card is just so good. We don't need to go for Diamond just yet, and you need to go away. Or maybe I shouldn't since I had the kill blade, but right now I'm not doing much, right? So I guess Darkheart should seal the deal on turn 5. Okay, really didn't like this. Well, this is a diamond for sure. Fill your stuff. With this deck, even stealing a shard usually is not that bad. You already think about budget attackers deck for people like me. Yes, and the candles deck is likely where you want to be. Also the verdict deck, like the three. Look at rock decks really, because they're very well balanced, and they're efficient, and they're not really slow. At least not candles and verdict. And I think you're going to be able to win a decent amount of games, even against, you know, PvE decks with proper rock decks, like verdicts and candles in particular. Alright, turn 7, Bride is online. Yeah, the one thing that this deck doesn't do is drawing a lot of cards, but it's okay. I mean, when you're stuck with From the Ashes and Brides, not that bad. Well, of course, like Mono Blood has the most powerful card in Bride. It has the best removal, and it has strong synergies with Darkheart, and it's one of the few shards that has the most potential to survive long enough to play something like Seeker. So Blood is definitely where you want to be early on. And once we know what's going on, and maybe we... Ooh, Bride. That's nice. Maybe we do something else, but... If I don't have a choice, I don't have a choice. I'll pull the trigger, but... Yay! Dark Hearts. Maybe I should have learned my lesson and not attack, but it's okay. It's okay. I want a Scrivener on a Nightfall. I think. Drop the Nightfall. Guidance. Guidance is so good. Triangle. I should not have done that. Well, maybe I should, just to be more aggressive. Finish the really Angel of Agony deck for defense. Oh yeah, that card is nice. Tell me that you used Angel of Dawn as well, and the equipment on the Angel of Agony, because that one is so cool. Darkheart with Bride is just so good. Sure, this is not great. This is not great. Angel of Agony, but no Angel of Dawn. Okay. Yeah, Owls of Kuketan is going to make attacking sucks for a lot of people. This is going to ruin a lot of people. Just aggressive decks, like there's no way aggressive decks are... if you want to be good, to beat aggressive decks, you can. Like, I think for defense, assuming you can build a deck for defense that is going to be like 90% win ratio against aggressive standard deck, so that you can just build build two very slow, very dirtly. The first two decks can be very, very slow and dirtly and very powerful. And you put your entire grow as your third deck. And if they somehow get to go through, like, go under the first two decks, then you just destroy them with the last deck. This is going to be blood. Losing a bit of tempo here, but second blood, better, more important than first diamond. Twilight Eclipse. Ugh. Twilight Eclipse. What was the equipment again? It's double damage, right? It's just stupid like that. There's definitely a defense Twilight Eclipse deck that's going to be so annoying. That might be playing Bibliophile as well. Do I want shard? I think I want shards. This fight is not going to be easy. Not at all. Okay, we want to attack first, but oh well. Or I'm not blocking with that. Hopefully we get a shard. Can hero fall. I just can't let this guy on the board. Although this one is going to be a problem. Not looking great right now. I guess you for the very, very short-term problem. Dark Heart is going to help. Let's see what we have. Can just do much. So much, yeah. I think, you know what? I think I'm going to have more fun attacking than defending. Just for the fact that just going to like see what people are building. That's going to be very, very fun. What kind of cool strategies they're using. This is a nice attack by the AI. Okay. And I want from the ashes now. This needs to be a shard. And then we're dead. We're clearly dead. Yeah. Like, this is the thing. Like, this is likely going to be common. Just get run over when you're dirtling with card draw and 1 or 2 removal. That's what's going to happen a lot of the time with this mid-range, with these mid-range / controlling deck. So go first. Oh, this is a nice one. I don't have a great deck against Lanupa, but if I just get one from the ashes, like last game, from the ashes would have turned the table. So even though we haven't played one yet, I still think that they might be the right call. Second blood over the first diamond, always. And Vampire Prince. Oh, Vampire Prince against the Prophecy deck is going to be fun. And by the way, there's going to be a stupid Prophecy deck for Defender as well. Alright. You do not stay on the board at all. And hopefully we bury the card that Yeah. You know what? We're good. If we're still that lucky with the bury on the princes, we should be okay. You go in. You are diamond. Going to be disciplined with that. Strangle making PV decks with all acorns. Strange. Oh, strange. Yeah. It's strange, but makes sense. Hey, look at that. Getting rewarded. Ooh. Ooh. And then bury. Yeah. Princes are good with any cat type of, you know, boosting cards in deck because they bury. I kind of like this Mono Blood deck. I think it does everything, and it does it strong, like in a strong enough fashion that it's going to be able to deal with most things. Back and relax. Oh, we've got a 7/7 Dark Heart. It's going to be a 9/7 Swift Strike. That's weird. Yeah. Called it. Okay. I want the badass Dark Heart. You come and be cannon fodder, please. And then guidance for Killblade, sure. Like Killblade, even late game, still good. Still a good draw. Not the best draw, but that's about the worst you can do in the deck besides a shard, and that's pretty darn good. Really want the Killblades in the deck for attackers. That could be a problem, but we've got 50 health, so yeah, not so much of a problem. And then we steal a card from the top of their deck. Sure. Let me get whatever's improved. This works fine. Huh. Alright, I love this one. I think it is ready. This one is this one I think would be one of the first decks that I'll be using for attacking. Looks nice. I love the addition of From the Ashes. One is ready. And the other attacker deck that I really wanted to go, and I had very high success rate in the Frustrating Arena with, was a wait, I got more than than that. Why is it? Okay. Was the one is, yeah, that was the one. So it's a control-ish deck for attacker. Just goes wide with a bunch of chum blockers into an early Dark Heart. And we've got Exalted Pathfinder to draw some cards, and we've got, like, we can do momentum on one of the early drops if we need to, so that we have some threats early if the game turns out to be that way, like Shardshorn that produce a Blight Blossom when it comes into play. Well, not when it comes into play, but yeah, we trigger the death cries of troops. And even in this situation, like Palm of Granite, and I could just give like momentum to this guy and go up, and usually you end up with a bunch of troops early, some amount of interaction, and then there's a bunch of card draws. So like this. Now we have 2, and we still have rune binds. We've got a blocker, and we've got some dark heart. Crash into the check line. Hey, hi there. How are you doing? So yeah, I think this one I like because it should be able to deal with most things with rune bind, and as soon as you ramped into a lot of resources, and then you end up in a place where you can draw a card and weave into nothing and or rune binds, which is pretty cool. Right now we didn't get our second sapphire threshold, but we still have 2 rune binds. You can mess with combat mat and do some nice things. Well, you know what? I'm going to keep this one, and then we're going to block like this, getting some chum blockers, and now we're good. Like, well, we've got 4 seekers as our top end. Do I want a shard? I think I want a shard. And now we can just you know what, back with this one. Got runebind, weave into nothing with a pathfinder. Should have been weaved. All right, might be kill. Is it? Depends on what we draw. Then we do this. Then we do this. And then we do, like, this is a control deck that has the, perfect. Yeah, this is a control deck that has some explosive attacks, explosive turns. Lots of card draw, interrupts, which is nice. I'm in Frustrating Arena to test some decks to prepare to be able to attack some siege defenses. That's what we're doing right now. We are planning we are doing our attack plan for siege. First, that should be okay. Hey, thanks for the host, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for the host, Mustache. Really good. Thanks. Alright, so yeah, so this is like the short swords with the Dead Cry gem. It's going to be very, very good. Just early defense, go wide. And you just want to buy time with this deck. That's really the only thing you want to do, is just buy enough time. Like, get some ramping into play and buy some time. You either ramp into a Dark Heart or a Seeker. So Seekers usually should be turn 5 and 6. Dark Hearts should be turn 3, turn 2 and turn 4 and 5. Even now, like just likely just do this guy, and we can up to, and then we did this. And we got a flight one. I should have waited, and we could have put the momentum on the flight troop. That would have been nice. And the nice thing is now we have this, and then we can just get a shard. Do we want a shard? No, we want this. So not too bad, and then we can double trade here, get some other troops. Edindale, 10 for the follow, appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. And now we're in Eternal Seeker range. We don't have a ton of cards in hand, but we've got a Seeker in our pocket, which is pretty cool against that. This, and then this targets 5. And then we attack for 4. And these are very friendly, like the Shardthorn with the Dark Hearts. Really cool. Runebind, okay. When this deals damage to a champion. Did not attack, and we get the win. Another Shardthorn. Okay, so this is the deck that I had the most success with for Frustrating Arena, even more so than the Blood deck, because it has interrupts and it goes big. It goes both wide and tall, and it has interrupts, and it has 4 Seekers with ramp. So this is another very strong contender for attack. From my testing, like this is a good example. Like we're going to go early Shardthorn with a Runebind up if any problems arrives, and then we can Palm or Arts a Whisper for card draw, and then we should be good to go. I'm still going to go wild here because even if we get another wild, we're going to Palm of Granite and ramp into other things, and that should be great. Right, that's a way to get into Palm range. Getting Acolytes. No, not my Acolyte. Archon of New Zealand. I ate you. Alright, so we can't do the card draw right now, but we can do that. I want to go up to 5 now. I don't think so. I want to play 2 resource after the Pathfinder next turn. Like this was 1 Shardthorn, but it did so much. Now we're big time behind. Maybe we get a shard. No shard. Okay. Still not too rough of a shape. Dark Heart is not doing much though. So how do we deal with sockets? That was the question. Seeker is the answer. I think I want to do this and go with Sapphire on, and at least I will have a tint blocker. And do I go Dark Heart? Dark Heart doesn't do much, right? Skyguard Steadfast though for this guy. And then we sacrifice the Blossom. I think we're just going to... I kinda was aiming for either a Runebind or a Short Sword. That's nice. Runebind. Next turn we remove the 4s. Dark Hearts, and we bait this thing. No, I think and then there's not enough for Weave. I want to do Eternal Seeker and Weave if I can. I think we're going to go double Dark Heart. Oh, he sacrificed the rune. That's so great. Sure. Right, we got a Dark Heart. 3 or 4. I still think we do 4. Oh no, we don't do 4. We do 3. Oh, 4 would have been way better. Way, way, way better. Alright. Was hoping for that. And yeah, Seeker, and now we can draw some cards. We have Interrupts. And that's the strength of the deck. If I do this, yeah. Should be a decent hit. That's what I really like with this deck. And now we've got an Interrupt. Playing with fire though. Really playing with fire. Likely that attack was a mistake. But... Whew. Oh no! Oh no! Do I die? Do I just die here? Yeah. Alright, that was a very, very bad attack. But you see the deck in action, right? So it seems like a very good start for attacking. Something like that. Like 4 Dark Cards, 4 Seekers, Exalted Pathfinders, Runebinds, Interrupts. The whole thing. Like this is an elite, and we're going to want... oh, we've got some ramp though. That's nice. Start of each turn we gain. Okay, so that's a passive one. I really don't think we want Sunshine. Okay, so we might be run binding here. Why not? Oh yeah, Pathfinder. Pathfinder. Oh no. Room bind was super bad when everyone draws 2 cards per turn. Okay, that should be quite good. This. And to this. Into this. Yes. No! Prideful. Okay. I kind of want resources at this point. Wow. That was super rude. But now we can deal with, we have Seeker. Seeker for tree. And that solves the problem. I think I just want Weave into nothing at this point. Just to deal with removal. Like, he's not going through our Seekers, so... Oh yeah, this is a no-no. This was a no-no. Another Seeker for 2 would be kind of good. Right? And then we've got a resource. And we can you and you stack. And now this is going to be interesting. Do I want Dark Heart? I don't think so. Do I want to kill her? Kinda just want interrupts at this point. Maybe a Pathfinder. We want a big attacker, that's what we want. Okay. I think I'm just rune binding this. Attacking with everything, and next turn go for a kill. I should have drawn 2 more cards and see if I could get an interrupt, but oh well. Yura succeeded in beating Ogard in his elite form. Yeah, multiple times. You can do it with I've had success with a Mono Sapphire control deck. A Terror Bury deck can do it with a good end, and also Cheating Bright deck was able to do it by making him discard a soul hand on turn 5. For the most part, you want to have Spirit of Retribution in your deck to block the early attacker, gain some health, and at some point you should have enough time to get into playing your stuff. That's mainly how you do it. Nice rune bind. Tilted by Finder. You know what? We can just play a Seeker for 2. That removes a lot of our troops, but removes the flyers, and we just trigger this and an attack. Like, this is the deck where you always have a full hand and you kind of just deal with stuff. Pentio is a big problem for a deck like that. So against the Bury deck, this is clearly worse than the Blood deck though. Yeah, this will be the last one, and it's going to be lights out. Right? Yeah. No, I don't think this is something we... Oh, come on. Just need a turn. Just need a turn. And a fourth and a fifth. Okay. I am 100% going to go Dark Heart. And we hope for the best. Aye, aye, aye. I do want to ramp into a Seeker early here and then not draw a lot of cards. Oh, this has to die. The real problem with Dark Hearts though is that he tends to have a lot of chump blockers. I will regret this. Maybe. Not too bad. Holy moly. I'm so dead. Baron stayed one turn on the board, so I am so dead. Yeah. Well, I guess I could do... I really need to do 5. Alright, this is 5. With a turn. And then if I get another Seeker for 2 right now. Kinda need a Seeker here. But I'm already dead anyway, but yeah. Like that's what's going to be cool with defenders, is that you can build your deck so that like you just like this deck beats most decks, so you open up with a Bury deck, and so that they're not able to use this deck to beat you the next 2 decks that you have, and the next 2 decks you make sure that they are very good at against the Bury decks. So it's going to be some fun shenanigans with the defenders deck. For sure. I think that's going to be it for tonight. Didn't work too much on the mind map though, but I mean, we mapped the artifacts, and I think this is the best takeaway from tonight. Just put it there. Stable CGI versus player. So this is my expectation of what's Siege going to look like. Like human aggro is going to be losing to AI aggro, but winning against mid-range and AI mid-range and AI control. Mid-range decks played by human will be winning against AI aggro but losing against AI mid-range and control. And human control is going to lose against AI aggro and mid-range and win against AI control. And if we end up with that situation right there, this would be a very LT situation for Siege. Very, very LT. That would be super great. Going to see if that turns out to be the case. But we'll see, right? Wish you guys a great night. Take care and see you next time we may have Siege in our hand. So